This thing on. Howdy, howdy. It is holding a guitar and yapping time. Today, I've got a very cool 80s Ibanez Roadstar 2 RS 1300. A very cool bird's-eye maple top. This was my dad's guitar. It is very sweet. Anyway, back when I started this channel, I was primarily a bedroom guitarist, just faffing about, learning shit and playing all on my own at home. That was cool and all, and it taught me the things I had learned up until that stage. I learned the songs I had learned. But midway through last year, I was very, very fortunate and met a group of really cool musicians, formed a bit of a band, and we started playing some shows. It's been a lot of stuff to learn. I thought I'd make this video going over 5 things I've learnt, going from a spud sitting at home strumming his G-string to strumming his G-string to a crowd. If you yourself are thinking of taking that next step, going from a solo player to jamming and gigging, it may give you some things to look out for. If you're in the same boat as me and have just started, you might be able to have a bit of a laugh and relate to some of the things I'm about to say. Or if you are a seasoned veteran, you could look back and think I'm an absolute dickhead. Number 1, learning to play your rig as a whole is almost like learning another instrument. So a bulk of my time playing at home has been relatively straightforward. It's been a guitar plugged into a very small practice amp with 1 or 2 channels if you're lucky, without any foot switches to toggle between the two, or totally unplugged. So you dial in a rough sound, you plug a guitar in, and that was that. There wasn't much consideration taking into the dynamics of a piece or a song, outside of using your guitar's volume control to clean things up. That was about as dynamic as we got. Very rarely did I take into consideration the switching of really clean to dirty tones within songs. I was just learning the parts, learning the chords, learning the pieces, and that was kind of it. Since playing with others, I have taken that first step and got my first big boy rig. It's a EVH 5153 50 watt unit with a 2x12 cab. Now, in saying that, it's by no means a 100 watt Marshall with a big full stack, but it has been a lot more than what I have been used to. Along with that, I've never been a huge pedal person, but I have taken a plunge, got some basic effects on a pedal board. With so much more going on now, with multiple channels controlled by a foot switch and effects, there is a shitload more to take into consideration regarding tone. And with all this newfound adjustability, probably found 1,001 ways to dial in a shitty sounding guitar tone. It's been a learning curve in of itself to dial in a sound that not only sounds good on its own, but plays nicely with the other instruments on stage, so the other guitars, the bass and the drums. I've had to learn to tweak and reorder pedals, utilize things like the FX loops in your amplifier to have things like reverb and delay not become a muddy, flubby mess. Jumping between amplifier channels and turning effects off and on dynamically during the course of a song has been a necessary skill for me to learn too. There are many songs that change and shift how they sound throughout the course of the song. It's up to you as a performer to be able to shift your sound to go along with that. Number 2, more complex instruments are not always more betterer. Simple is often all you need and a lot of the time all you want. So in saying that, I love weird, crazy, wonderful guitars. You know, I find an instrument with 38 switches to run your pickups in parallel series, to switch phases and get all sorts of crazy sounds are really, really interesting and really fun to me. Along with that, crazy, weird and wacky tremolo systems like this Pro Rocker bridge are a lot of fun. I love the engineering that goes into them, the way they look, the way they work. I like pulling them apart and seeing how each part functions. I find that bloody fascinating. In saying that, the very first jam session we had, like an ignorant dumbass, the first guitar I brought was my Ibanez RG 550. This little beastie was the one I decided to take with me. Fantastic feeling, great playing instrument, and it has the Ibanez Edge double locking tremolo system. As far as Floyd Rose type bridges go, it's one of the best. It's fantastic. It works pretty reliably. But, as many of you know, it comes with one big downside. I discovered that when we tried to play a song that is in drop D. Oh shit. I said if you're familiar with these systems, part of where they get their tuning stability from is the fact that you set A tuning, single tuning, and you bolt everything down. That means to change tunings, you have to unlock everything and basically reset the bridge up again totally from scratch. Not something you can really do on the fly. Do we see the slight issue here? Since getting caught out on that, the main instrument I have been using has been this, an Ibanez SZ520QM. It's rocking a pair of humbuckers, a volume for each, a master tone, and a toggle switch. Les Paulish in its pickup configuration. Controls are even more simplified. The bridge is great and very easy to change up tunings and stuff on the fly. With the independent volumes on this, you can roll back your volume on your neck. You can keep your volume cranked on your bridge. You can quickly jump between a gritty and a, cleanish roundy sound on the fly with minimal faffing about. So it's been reliable, it's been good. Part of the fun of guitar is trying out all the different models out there. Find something that clicks and resonates with you, helps you find your sound. But make sure you always have that reliable workhorse sort of on the bench, ready to rock at a moment's notice. Number 3, tone really is in the hands. Tone chasing is something that people spend crazy amounts of time and effort on. They look for a specific sound from an artist, of an album, of a song, and try to replicate it with their rig. Sometimes down to the most crazy minute details. EVH, or Mr. Edward Van Halen, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Kurt Cobain, Gary Moore. People spend crazy amounts of time and effort mirroring all of the minute details of their favorite artist's gear, down to the fucking potentiometers in their guitar and the specific types of diodes in their pedals. You know what that isn't doing? Practicing your instrument and learning your songs. Oh, I've broken the facade. All right. Fucking light died. So I bummed around for a bit, cleaned up, had a coffee now. That's where that's come from. Video magic. Anyway, what's clicked to me with gear is it is very much a case of the 80-20 rule. 20% of your inputs will get you 80% of your results. You'll get closer to sounding like your idols by just getting into the ballpark gear-wise. You don't need to worry about magical diodes or pedals of a specific year or pickups made in 1963. If your favourite player plays a Strat with singles, just get yourself a Strat-shaped instrument with singles that is in your budget and that you like to play. From there, what's important is spend that rest of your time learning your music and deeply internalizing what the hell you're doing. Memorize it, understand it, and most importantly of all, do that and play the shit out of it very confidently. So when starting to play with others, I grabbed myself a 5150, a matching cab. Not to chase any tone in particular. The only brown sound I've got going on is in me dax after drinking too much dare-iced coffee on an empty stomach. But because the amp itself is a staple across a heap of different genres of high gain music, so I thought it'd be able to do a little bit of everything. Issue was, despite having a nice amp and a decent cab to match, I wasn't a very confident player. So no matter what I tried, it just didn't sound very good. My bandmate was super talented and incredibly confident. That man could make a 9-volt Marshall mini amp sound fucking tremendous. So as time went on, I practiced the same few songs, internalized them and learnt them better. Most importantly, stop playing like a little bitch. Holy buckets, it started sounding better. Most people fall down the rabbit hole of the first part, spending a lot of time buying and researching gear, and they're doing the second part. And let's be honest, it is a lot easier and a lot more instantly rewarding to click that buy now button than it is to sit down and practice scales and music parts. Just remember, tone is not in the masking tape from 1955. It's in the nutter holding the instrument. Is that recording? Yes, it is. Jesus Christ. Number 4, cock-ups will happen and you are going to remember your mistakes more than anyone else. Now, it's pretty obvious. Live music is dynamic as shit. It's a heap of people that have learned a heap of pieces of music of playing that to a live group of people. There's a lot of shit going on, and when playing 40 plus songs back to back to back, there's unfortunately going to be some parts that are going to stick in your brain better than others. So again, going back to why step 3 is important. This means mistakes happen. Maybe a part is not as tight as you want, a section gets missed, or even some sort of ugly technical difficulty desires to present itself. How you deal with it is super important. Being able to respond to issues quickly and with grace is imperative to keeping the audience immersed in the experience. Now, this may be a personal experience to me. If not, let me know. But when playing on stage, you're a little bit nervous. Time seems to slow down a little bit. This makes it even more important to deal with stuff-ups professionally, as in the moment, when something does go wrong, it feels like it goes on forever. You have to learn to deal with mistakes without freaking out or crashing out, as oftentimes the audience doesn't even notice something went wrong to begin with. It's not a matter of if it happens, because it will happen, but it's mainly how you deal with it. When it does happen, sort it out, laugh it off, and get back to playing. If you miss a part or stuff up a section, take mental note, and then in your own time, go back, practice, and better internalize and remember that part. Okay, going back to step 3, better understanding what you're playing will help you play it more confidently and have it sound even better next time. So you have that to look forward to. Step 5, it is fun as all hell and really helps supercharge your development as a musician. Now, I've only done it a small handful of times so far, but playing for people is a crazy fun experience. Seeing the joy on people's faces as you see them get into a song or bust out a tune that they know is so much fun. I'm fortunate enough to meet and play with some absolutely phenomenal musicians in my town. It's both really encouraging and humbling at the same time, because it simultaneously shows me how much more there is for me to learn, but also shows how much room for improvement there is in my playing. The spontaneous nature of jamming really exposes the weak points in your playing, all while giving you a space to work on and develop those weak points. Since being fortunate enough to start jamming in about May of 2025, I have noted improvements in the way that I sort of visualize a fretboard and find where everything is, more improvisational skills, as well as general understanding of music theory. It's fun as hell, and it's really driven me to want to keep improving my skills as a musician to better understand what the hell is going on this fucking thing, as well as better communicate the ideas from this fucking thing to the people I'm playing with. And to most importantly, help better entertain the people kind enough to come out and watch you make an absolute racket. I'm still very new on my gigging and musical journey, and so far really enjoying the process. As time goes on, my thoughts to some of these points could very well change, but they are the 5 immediate takeaways that come to my mind in my sort of near 12 months of jamming and gigging. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Oh, what's going on here? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Share your inputs and what you think in the comments below. Do you think I'm a dickhead? Let me know. Regardless, thank you very much for taking the time to watch me yap, and I will catch you in the next one.